Dana Loesch joins us now. She's an NRA spokesperson and host of The Dana Show. You were expecting something like this, I take it, Dana?
That response, yes, Stuart, and thank you so much for having me. I did, and I know that there were a lot of congressional members in response to this, and they had said that had it not been for Representative Scalise's Capitol Hill Police, the two officers who served as his detail, both of whom are heroes, particularly as well as Crystal Griner, who I know, I mean, that's a strong woman who was out there protecting congressional members as well. If it had not been for Representative Scalise being there, they would not have had anyone, Stuart. And these lawmakers, unless they have permits in Virginia or are able to have a permit and carry into D.C., which can be incredibly tricky to get, they were just sitting ducks. And that's what a lot of them said. They said that all they had to defend themselves with were their gloves and bats.
Dana, hold on for a second. I just want to remind our audience that Congressman Chris Collins, will be on this program shortly. About 30 minutes from now, we'll hear from that congressman directly. He says he's going to carry a gun. Now, I say that there is a link between the violent rhetoric that we've been hearing from the left and the violent act which we saw yesterday. Where are the apologies or the pulling back by the left for what they've done to this, the political climate? I don't see anything. Do you, Dana?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it, Stuart? What sort of atmosphere do you think that's going to come from having the severed head from a comedian or having some sort of Shakespearean play that portrays Donald Trump as the one who's getting assassinated as opposed to Caesar? This is sort of the reality in which we live. We see Berkeley riots. We see all of these different riots on college campuses simply because they can't handle a difference of opinion. We have people who think that violently responding to the November election is a way to express dissent. That's not a protected form of speech. What we saw yesterday, the violence yesterday morning, that's not a protected form of speech. This is an individual who was no longer satisfied, Stuart, with just voicing disagreement on Facebook. He had to take it to this extreme. And I do think that the left needs to walk this back. Now, I hear all the time, Stuart, well, this occurs on the left and right. No, I'm sorry. No, you don't see people on the right going out and shooting individuals because they disagree with their politics.
Well said. I'm going to just return to a subject that you and I have talked about frequently. I'm just going to air it again. I'm an American citizen, firm supporter of the Second Amendment, but the prevalence of guns, if they were to be in everybody's hands, or certainly a lot more hands, I don't find it disturbing. I'm just a little uncomfortable with it. Reassure me, Dana.
Well, Stuart, we don't want to say, this isn't about a guns everywhere for everyone. There are certainly some people who have forfeited their right because of willful action, or some perhaps who are just mentally incapacitated and are not able to responsibly, lawfully carry. But an innocent American citizen who simply wants to exercise their pro-choice right of self-defense, Stuart, certainly they should be able to do so. And the argument, Stuart, that because a criminal may carry, that should somehow invalidate your right to carry, that is not a good argument. That's not a logical argument.
Quick point. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but quick point. I don't think Congressman Chris Collins will be allowed to carry a gun in Washington, D.C. Am I right?
He may not be. I know that even if they can get some sort of permit, even then there are a number of loopholes to jump through. Now, Stuart, you might be aware that Representative Loudermilk was discussing reciprocity for congressional members particularly. I don't think that should just extend to congressional members. I think that this really should put a fire under Congress, politically speaking, to have national reciprocity for all law-abiding Americans across the country so that our rights don't end at the border, at one particular state border, that we can be able to protect ourselves wherever we are, a ball field or at home.
Let's sum it up like this. Hey, you, on the left, knock it off. You accept that?
I do. I do. Let's, just because we disagree on politics doesn't mean we have to be enemies, Stuart.
Well said. You are all right, Dana Loesch. Thanks for joining us, as usual.